organization, Jiva Bhavana. And that's how we met Sanjeev, and the three of us co-founded this organization. And we are a solution-based NGO, and we keep a few objectives which are very important to us, which is to study the devastating impacts of animal agriculture on the Indian environment, health, and economy, um, and to help farmers transition to natural plant-based farming practices from the current animal-based farming practices, in order to create a sovereign and sustainable food system which will compensate them well for the work they do, and also so that all life on this planet is respected and it thrives. As we understand, animal agriculture is rearing of animals for food, and it is just a subset of agriculture, but it takes a huge chunk of our resources while we practice it. Anyway, I mean, as we understand as an organization with us research that globally it's been understood with all the studies that animal agriculture is extremely resource intensive. And India, incidentally, is home to not only the world's largest cattle population, but also is amongst the placed highest amongst nations in total livestock population. While we occupy 2.5% of the world's land, and we'll soon be surpassing China in our population. So, with a country which is like has a crunch for resources, which is evident from these numbers, we still haven't done any study about impacts of animal agriculture in India, unfortunately. And animal agriculture implies monocropping, which again is extremely detrimental to the environment. It involves use of expensive seeds and chemical fertilizers, which are used in these monocropping practices, which not only increase the burden on the farmers with loans, but also they degrade the soil on the farms, they pollute the water tables. And this way, the farmer reduces his ability to produce sufficiently over a period. And this has become one of the main reasons why farmers are getting crushed under this system, which is exploiting them, and they're resorting to suicide. Also, while doing monocropping, the farmer does not meet his and his family's needs for nutrition, and that's how the families of farmers are most impacted by hunger and undernourishment. The water tables on his farm are depleting very quickly because chemical-based farming needs a lot of water. And also, when you raise animals and when their animal-based foods are processed, a lot of amount of water is used as compared to what would be consumed in comparison to human direct consumption. So if we just take the statistics of how much water is used for domestic use in India, it's not more than 8 to 10%. But what is used in agriculture, of which animal agriculture subset, it is around 80%. So that is the disparity. And at the same time, vast and ever-growing tracts of land are used for grazing or growing feed for the animals, which is leading to destruction of forests, as well as because of which the carbon emissions are increasing, and this is further increasing the climate crisis, which are causing unfavorable conditions for the farmers to grow their crops. And also, as we know, forest destruction also leads to habitat loss and biodiversity, which again affects the farmers' farming practices, as well as what we experience now. We're experiencing pandemics, and these are conditions which grow these risks. So, because, and again, because farmers are experiencing failures in crops, they are resorting to keeping dairies, cows on their farms and buffaloes, because they think it's an added income to them. And these cows or buffaloes come to them in the form of subsidies by the government, or they're gifted. But eventually, the financial burden is shifted on the farmer, and he cannot afford rearing these animals because of the feed, expenses of the feed, and other requirements. And also, the females of the family have to look after these animals and work in unhygienic and conditions, and exposed to zoonotic diseases. So there are a lot of unwanted situations, exploitative conditions which the farmers has to face because of our eating habits, primarily in the cities. As an organization, we really see that as the solution to the crisis, multifaceted crisis we're facing in India today. And as we understand, veganism is actually a social justice movement. So, understanding the current system, which is based on exploitation of animals as well as human beings, where the use of animals is causing, excuse me, various negative impacts, like right from cruel treatment of animals and humans, and also animal agriculture being the main driver of climate change, also being the main cause of hunger and chronic lifestyle diseases, which we are seeing escalating in the current times, and also becoming the leading cause of pandemics. So, in all these situations, the consequences of animal agriculture are evident. That I know that they are very debilitating on the animals and on the humans or the Indian population. And these conditions are depriving these animals and people of their basic right to live a respectable life and to thrive on this planet.
What has happened is, by embracing non-vegetarianism over the last whatever 50, 60 years, we have been aping the West, in their ways of consumption of meat, and so I think that is something which we really need to overturn, and be the beacon of hope, beacon for other countries to follow. That we understand our core values and they don't involve consumption of animal food. Like I think Madhvi said, it is a big cause of concern when it comes to health also, because we don't have really great health facilities in India, and we're going to have more diseases either due to consumption of animal foods, or by being the cause of zoonotic diseases like we saw in corona. We are not equipped to address this, so it's a huge justice in that way also.
So yeah, I think we all agree that historically we have been a resource rich country, and as we saw colonization, how it changed, and today as we see various practices which we have adopted, and agriculture being one of them, we've been completely ripped of them. And in fact, to the extent that when we are exporting animal based foods, we are embedding our natural resources and sending them out, which could be used in our own country. We have so many people to look after, and it's like animal agriculture is extremely resource intensive and extremely inefficient converter of crops. And unfortunately, we are the greatest the producers of dairy, beef, eggs, poultry, fish, all kinds of animal based products. And if you just take an example of chicken, it eats twice as many as calories and proteins to than it produces. So we see that example as the disparity between what we feed the chicken, how we rear it, and what we really get to nourish ourselves.
Yeah, water crisis is one of a big thing which we don't really see, when we talk about animal agriculture. But that's, it's a huge consumption of water when it comes to, right from the production until the processing and to the transport. Because all animal foods are something which are need a lot of processing and freezing and all that. So it actually takes a lot of all these natural resources like water and even energy wise. It's very very inefficient.
Yeah. Actually, what we can first look at it as see all these SDGs in totality. And we can, because all of them are interconnected and interdependent. And what we can say is that a plant based world would lay the foundation for achieving these goals by 2030. Because the current system which we are functioning in right now is flawed by normalized violence, where we don't respect all life on this planet. You know, all are not treated as equals. And
Specifically, if you ask about how animal agriculture, and the ways what we are going the solutions, it will directly, first of all, address, the life on land. like Madhvi also said, when we give up on animal agriculture, we will, go to better ecosystems. Desertification will be reduced. We'll have more of forests. The land degradation is going to, be solved. And biodiversity loss, which is happening at a rapid state because of all this, is going to be, that is also going to come back now. So that is one of the direct, you can say, impact of this thing. And we also know about the climate problems because of dairy and other animals also. So it addresses the climate action. And when we talk about water crisis, how it's going to be useful in water conservation. So we'll have more in water and sanitation. There'll be gender equality because I think Madhi mentioned most of the time it is women who are involved in most of this, especially in cattle milking and all that. So they're getting exploited. So when we move to plant-based food systems, it will be a more dignified life, which all these people who are involved in that. So it will address the equalities, inequalities in gender or any other form, and we'll go towards more dignified work and economic growth, which will result poverty. And then we talk about peace and justice, but today peace and justice is not including other species on this earth. So it should also, they also should be treated with equality. So this SDGs will address, going plant based will make sure that all species on earth will be treated with equality.